Thank you so much, hubby. That was a beautiful intro to coming into our daily antidote space. Thanks for bringing us in with some beautiful sound. Thanks to everybody for being here. Welcome to the daily antidote of song. We're one song every day, live on two different streaming platforms. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook Live. And of course, always here in this Zoom room at noon every day. And in fact, today is day 1,404 consecutive days of singing, which is pretty darn cool. I want to welcome everybody out there on the live stream. Thanks for joining us today. And we're going to say hi to everybody in this room. And so, hubby, was it Joseph Spence or no?
That was Elizabeth Cotton.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. All right, Aaron, thank you so much for being here from New York and for running our tech for us today. Going to say hello to hubby, also coming in from New York. He's in Queens. Aaron's in Brooklyn. Thanks to Arlene coming in from Berkeley, Deborah in Kentucky, Bob, Mabel, and Two Bears coming in from Massachusetts, Deli in Maryland. Susan, thank you so much for being here today, coming in from somewhere with a very cool ceiling. Athena in Brooklyn, thank you for being here. Aloysius in Mass, Kathy in Colorado, Kim coming in from British Columbia, one of our song leaders. Great to have you here today. Susan in Cincinnati, nice to see you today. Hi to Louise coming in from Devon, UK. Great to have you. Sheila in North Florida. Hello to Kate coming in from Charlottesville, Cricket in Maryland. Lola coming in from Canada. Nice to have you with us today. Carolyn coming in from Boise, Idaho, and thanks again for day 1,404 reminder. Bob coming in from Albany, Sue in Seattle, Linda on Orcas Island, Bonnie in Boise, Benet coming in from Berkeley, Laris coming in from the UK, great to see you. Nicola coming in from somewhere in the UK where it is apparently not very pleasant weather. Nancy coming in from Washington State. Antonina, great to have you back again today, Santa Cruz, California. Don and Leanna, some curly tops coming in from Vermont. Storm in Massachusetts, Anne in Silver Spring, Maryland, Gary in Massachusetts, Sarah in Texas, Annette in California, Hoda, British Columbia, Kathleen in Albuquerque, Maureen in Edmonton, Canada. Hi to Alice May coming in also from Vermont, Diane in Puerto Rico. Nice to have you with us today, and lots of folks off video. So hello to Hindi in Toronto, Bronwyn in Victoria, Sarah and Sandy in Western North Carolina, Lynn in Connecticut, Caroline, DC. Hello to Julia, maybe new to us today, coming in from Iowa, and Carol in Connecticut, and still more folks coming in the room. If I missed you on the hello end of things, I'll get you on the goodbye. Let's all take one big deep breath. And if you think I speak fast, you should hear hubby do the hellos, because that's a whole other game. All right, Mr. Hubby Jenkins, we are so glad you're here today. Hubby is an incredible musician, has been in the room with us both as a host and a song leader a million times, okay, or 1,000,001. And I'm so glad to have you back with us today. We are honoring Black History Month, and obviously the world is a crazy place, and you're the just right person to take us on a song journey. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. Hey, everybody, thanks for having me. Today, the song we're going to sing comes from one of my favorite bands of all time. They're called the Staple Singers. And it's a song called Freedom Highway from their 1965 album. You guessed it, Freedom Highway. And it's got a chorus that goes like this, that you can sing along on. It says, we're gonna march down Freedom Highway, marching each and every day. March down Freedom Highway, marching each and every day. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Got it? What? I can't hear you. Did you get it? Yeah, you got it. You got it. And we'll talk about the song after we play it. Let's jump into it, and we'll start with the chorus. So get ready. A one, a two, a one, two. We're gonna march down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. March down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. There is just one thing I can't understand, my friends. Why some folks think freedom is not designed for all men. There are so many people living their lives perplexed, wondering in their minds what's gonna happen next. That's why we're gonna march down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. March up Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Oh, found dead people in the forest, Tallahatchie River and lakes. The whole world is wondering what's wrong with the United States. Yes, we want peace if it can be found. We're marching Freedom Highway, and we're not gonna turn around. That's right, we're gonna march up Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. March down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Oh, I think I voted for the right man. He said we'd overcome. We're marching Freedom Highway until the day is done. That's why we're gonna march down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. March down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Great job, everybody.
Thank you so much, Hubby. That was really, really great to sing. And I know it's got a really long story, history, a lot to talk about. Before we start, I'm just curious, how many people in the room knew that song already? Okay, not so many. Some, not so many. So, Hubby, thanks for bringing that to us. What can you tell us?
Yeah, this is a song that comes from the Staple Singers. I guess, Pops and all of them were involved in the civil rights movement, pretty actively, and sang a lot of songs that motivated people. And in '65, you have the March on Selma. And so this song was inspired by that. There's a live recording where he said, I received the words at that fest, at that march, and then composed the music, which I like. That's a way of describing it. Like those words came to him while he was walking. And then other parts of the verses talk about Tallahatchie River is where they found the body of Emmett Till, who was a teenager who was lynched after supposedly whistling at a white woman, which before she died, she admitted that she had made up the whole thing decades and decades and decades later. So there's that reference to that pain and all that sort of stuff. But it also has that tradition of civil rights movement of just like, these are motivating songs. These are galvanizing songs to get people inspired to march, to be active, to not be dissuaded, to not turn around, so on and so forth. And of course, a lot of these marches were about voting rights, which if we know historically, Civil War ends and we have this period known of Reconstruction. And during this time, Black people could vote. Like we could vote. Women, no, but Black men could. And we had our first Black politicians and so on and so forth. And then we get to 1877 and we have the compromise that institutes the Black codes. We have our first actual successful government coup in Wilmington, North Carolina, where they kick out all the Black people in government. And then, so when we get to this time period of the 60s, it's Black people trying to regain the right to vote. It's a right that we had for 12 years and then lost. So it's this fight to regain this right. So that has its own history and its own importance there. And of course, we can follow this thread to today, where voting rights are being attacked across the country, where we know that where voting rights are stricter, harder for people of color, specifically Black people, to vote, it's easier for conservatives and Republican candidates to win. And so this has been a tactic they've been using to make it harder for Black people to vote so they can get their candidates in. So voting is very, very important. And yeah, the struggle for it is, a pillar and a central point of our country. If everyone cannot vote, if voices cannot be heard, then we cannot truly have or call ourselves a democracy, right? So all that
Beautiful.
is wrapped up in this song. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hubby. Super, super beautiful. I saw an article today. Headline was something like why it's becoming harder for college students to vote, like policies that are being made in order to exclude college students. And there's something about the idea that there is, a concerted effort to figure out a way to draw some kind of line, right? So which we see that is drawn because of race, or that we see is drawn because of whatever age, right? In order to exclude exactly the people who are threatening to the status quo or to the, right? So yeah, I find that the ways in which we take two steps backwards and one step forward on some occasions and some days and some years and some 4-year terms to be frustrating and eye-opening, right? And also it gives us this chance to be in this room or in any room really talking directly about stuff like, for example, some of the history you're sharing. That is not something I knew, and that opens me up even more to the notion of that struggle for voting rights or for having a right and having it removed, which we see also happening in the news right now on other issues, right? So
So
thank you.
yeah.
Do you have more you want to?
I will say many more things. I will say that I first started doing this song when I was playing with Rhiannon Giddens, and we covered the song on one of her records. I think the first solo record. And there was a summer where I guess Mavis Staples was on tour with her album, and we were like meeting, like we would see like, oh, she's playing right after us, or she's playing right before us at this venue. So like we're like, when are we gonna meet Mavis? Like it'd be great to meet her. And like towards the end of the summer, we played a festival where we got to open right before she went on stage. And we're like, oh, cool, we got to play Freedom Highway great tonight. We got to rock it tonight. And I think it might have been the best we've ever played the song ever. And we get off stage, and Mavis is standing side stage, and her voice is 8 feet tall, but she's actually like 4 feet or something like that. But we like meet her, and I'm like, oh, Miss Staples, like, did you like that song? And she's like, no, I didn't like it, honey. I'm about to play that song in my set. You ruined my. And she was like, said it real serious. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then she laughed, and we started laughing about it. And of course, she played in her set, and she nailed it. Don't worry, she did a great job. But I just love that moment that I got to have with her.
That's so awesome. Okay, thank you. I love that. That's really, really fun. And I don't know, like I've had this idea in my head, like, wouldn't it be really cool to do some song that we all know that has, come up through tradition, and the entire event is just different people's version of the same song, right? So you're all in the space for an hour and 10 different people sing the same song, because like, how cool is that? Everybody's version sounds so different, or brings some unique, right? Like some word or some line that you hear like so powerfully in one versus which one you hear in another. And anyway, so Hubby, if you want to come along on my 10 song event, 10 people singing the same song event, I will be sure to invite you.
100. I'm all about that kind of stuff. Like I nerd out. I'm a music nerd listener person. So like I will listen to 20 versions of the same song in a row over and over again. Yeah, I'm really into that. And especially like, with folk music, that stuff changes. You get to learn about a specific region, everyone who sang Midnight Special might put a different sheriff in there, or, things like that just change and become more localized. I like that stuff a lot. Yeah, yeah.
So that's awesome, because I know you participated in the Library of Congress Archive Challenge here in the Daily Antidote of Song, which is exactly that, right? It's going back to like the original source, which is oftentimes just whoever the person was that happened to be singing it when someone recorded it, right? It's a song that's been in tradition. It's been sung by many, many people before the person who finally got recorded singing it, right? So you're going to go back and you're going to find some original or some further back source, and then you're going to make it in your own style. And we've seen multiple people do the same Library of Congress song in like completely different styles, like just to begin with, right? So shout out to Jen and Steve at the Library of Congress for creating that incredible project, because it's given us nerds a whole lot to go back and look at and review and listen to. All right, Hubby, what else? What else do you want to say or share before we begin?
we could do something again. I thought I could take a question. I would take like one or two questions randomly from the crowd to see about anything. I'm up to date on True Detective season 4, and I have some theories. I'm a big fan of Severance. I also have some theories on that show. You all know that I love Star Trek, so we could talk about that. I'm reading a book. I'm in chapter 1 on the history of the banjo. That's like I find very interesting. I just ended in Jamaica 1670 or 1707 rather. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, whatever you like.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, I'm scanning the chat right now, and I see Susan in Cincinnati has put in a sentence. It's not a question, but I'm going to read this out loud. It says, and it might be that there's more before it, 40 acres and a mule was also rescinded, so the property could be returned to Confederate landowners. Is that something, Hubby, that you know about?
I know a little bit about that, but yeah, the idea was that 40 acres and a mule for people who were enslaved, and that was taken away. And the people, the government basically was like, we need to make amends to people who were negatively affected by the end of slavery, and they decided that it was the white landowners who were losing all of their property. And so, yeah, that was a really fucked thing that happened. Sorry, messed up thing that happened. And yeah, black people lost their land, and then over time you get to like the Georgia Sea Islands where people were able to like save their land and pass their land down to each other, and that's why we're able to get the preservation of a lot of the African influence in black culture and black stuff there. But eventually, now they're starting to try and take their land and all that stuff too. But yes, I know a little bit about that, and that's as much I can say about that for sure.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I think I'm remembering, I think it was Ta-Nehisi Coates has an article on reparations in which he's talking about sort of a housing situation, which I think was in Chicago. But the people that were forced into that situation were coming out of having had that 40 acres rescinded. And in the what do we do next mode, they ended up in yet another horrible situation in Chicago where they were being manipulated and taken advantage. I think we'll try and put that into our anti-racist journey in the e-news in the next couple of weeks, so that if I got the article right or wrong, we can comment on it there. And thanks everybody so much, and thanks Hubby. So there is a question in the chat, very, very challenging question. So hang on. When are you touring in California next? Sorry, maybe that's not so challenging.
I don't know. When am I going to be touring in California next? I know I'm going to be in the West Coast. I'm going to be in Washington in August. I don't remember, but I'll keep you up to date. Follow me, and we'll find out. I'll call California when I get off the phone with you guys and work something out.
All right. Let us know what California had to say. I do know you're going to be in just a couple of weeks at this crazy event called the Flurry Festival. And in fact, we just determined that Hubby and I are both going to be at the Flurry Festival. So that's kind of exciting because yay. And anything else you want to just ping that you're going to be at soon?
I don't know. I'm doing that. I've got some teaching weeks coming up. I'm going to be at Augusta, their Blues Week with Phil Wiggins, which I'm very excited about, and get to spend more time with him and hang. And then I'm just running around randomly. I'm working on a new little EP thing that's going to come out, so you guys can hear some new music from your boy Hubby Juku and stuff like that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Hubby. So I'm gonna say it again.
Let's see what else. My favorite food. I really like mouth-watering chicken. It's a Sichuan dish that is very tasty. How did I get my name? That's a secret. Let's see.
So I'm going to shout out, while you're looking at questions, I'm going to shout out the last time we had Phil Wiggins in this room, because you were hosting and I was with him in his home, and he did that song that he wrote, Say Their Name. And it was, as far as I'm concerned, a stunning moment in the Daily Antidote. He was singing so from his heart. He was a bit under the weather, and so sort of the whole intensity of being human, I felt was right there in that room. And now that I'm saying this, I noticed Aaron put the Case for Reparations article in the chat. Thank you, Aaron. And I'm also going to switch up next week's or the week after the anti-racist journey. And we're going to put that Phil Wiggins episode, and we're going to put this article in, and the stuff that we've just been reflecting on in here will come up again in our e-news soon. So Hubby, you hosted Phil beautifully that day, by the way, and I'm super glad you're going to be with him again soon.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that makes me happy. Yeah, I'm just glad I get to spend time with the dude. He's the nicest person I've ever met. It's crazy. He's almost too nice. I don't know, but for sure.
All right.
Another thing that I saw in the chat is, well, what's the history of the banjo? Just in a nutshell, what I was reading about was a doctor named Hans Sloane, who was there with a governor who was put in place of Jamaica, and he talks about, like, you know, on Saturdays and Sundays, the enslaved there were able to, like, hang, and they would play music, and if their hanging would align with, like, some European holiday or whatever, then it would become a festival. And he talks about being there and seeing people dancing with, like, beads and shells and animal skins with pebbles inside to, like, make rattles on their wrists and feet, dancing to two guys playing an instrument that he called the strumstrump. And they're basically like, they're like early banjos. They're like a combination of, like, East African and West African instruments that are basically the banjo. And there was a guy there, a Batiste, who was of African descent, who was a composer. And so he gets him to write, like, can you notate some of this music? I'm a doctor, I don't know the music, but I want you to notate it. So in his book, he has notations of this music that he was hearing in the late 1600s, early 1700s in Jamaica. And then he got someone to draw the images of the banjo and actually took one back to England, which disappeared over the years. But in his book are the first ever drawings of what we would consider the banjo, and it's called the strumstrop.
Wow.
So there you go. That's Jamaica stuff. And the last thing I will say is that the song that I was playing at the beginning was Elizabeth Cotton's song, but it's not Freight Train. It's a song called I'm Going Away, which is one of her love songs. You called me honey and took all my money. Do you think that's funny? That's why I'm going away. That's Elizabeth Cotton tune. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Anyway.
Thank you, hubby. What a great journey. Let's sing some more.
For sure. Should we sing that Freedom Highway song again?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's do it. Booyaka. And we'll start with the chorus. You guys remember it. Here we go. March down Freedom Highway. March each and every day. March down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. There is just one thing I can't understand, my friend. Why some folks think freedom is not designed for all men. There are so many people living their lives perplexed, wondering in their minds, well, what's gonna happen next? That's why we're gonna march down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. March down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Oh, founded people in the forest, Tallahatchie River and lakes. The whole world is wondering what's wrong with the United States. Yes, we want peace if it can be found. We're marching Freedom Highway, and we're not gonna turn around. That's why we're gonna march down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. March down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. I think I voted for the right man. Said we'd overcome. Just stay on Freedom Highway until the day is done. I'm gonna march down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, march each and every day. March down Freedom Highway. Oh yeah, marching each and every day. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Made up my mind, and I won't turn around. Great job, everybody. Good one. Good singing.
Thank you so much, Hubby Jenkins. Can we all please give it up for Hubby Jenkins? Oh yeah, I see Erin over there. Erin, can you give it up with a ribbon stick for Hubby Jenkins? Got a good thing going on her screen there. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. Thank you so much, Hubby, for bringing us on another great song journey. It's always so much fun to spend time with you, talk to you, sing with you, and yeah, just engage in the way you see the world. I absolutely love it. F-bombs and all. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Thank you. Feel the same way. Good to see everybody.
Great to see you too, and hope to see you again soon, both in here and of course at upcoming events in the world. And let's all wave Hubby out of the room so he can go back to being busy. And we love you lots, Hubby. Thanks again.
Right back at you. Love everybody. Bye.
Bye. And thanks again, of course, to everybody out there on the live stream for joining us today. Glad you made it and hope you'll make it again tomorrow. We got lots of great stuff coming up. Keep your eyes on the e-news, guys. That's all I'm going to say, because maybe it's going to be magical in the next few days. So, you know, you never know what's going to happen in the Daily Antidote song. We always have little things up our sleeves, or big things sometimes. All right, we're going to say goodbye to everybody in this room, and can't wait to join you all again in here tomorrow for some more singing. So thanks to Arlene coming in from Berkeley, Deborah in Kentucky, Bob, Mabel, and Bears in Massachusetts, Annette in California, Sandy in Tacoma Park, Athena in Brooklyn. I just lost my screen twice. Okay, hang on. Everybody needs to stay told. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to find you. Athena in Brooklyn, Sarah in Texas, Susan in Cincinnati, Antonina in Santa Cruz, Bonnie in Boise, Laris in the UK with such a beautiful, it's like the tree of life and love combined. So I'm super loving it. Louise in Devon, UK. Aaron, thanks again for running great tech for us out of Brooklyn and for being so quick on the draw to bring up conversation stuff in the chat. Thanks to Don and Leanna coming in from Virginie, Vermont, and Sue in Seattle, and Kate in Charlottesville, Cricket in Maryland, Lola coming in from British Columbia in Canada, Carolyn in Boise, Bob in Albany, Dally in Maryland, Linda in Orcas Island, Dan in Vienna, Virginia, and I'm switching screens to find out who's on page 2 here. We have Sheila in North Florida, Kathy in Colorado, Kim coming in from British Columbia, Benet in Berkeley, California, Aloysius in Mass, Curly Tops 1 and 2. We've got a Willard and an Alice May coming in from Vermont, Ann in Silver Spring, Maryland, Gary in Massachusetts, Jamie in Victoria, Storm in Massachusetts, Nicola coming in from the UK. Always nice to see you popping in and singing along with us. Diane in Puerto Rico, Hindi in Toronto, and other folks off camera, Nancy, Washington State, Lynn, Connecticut, Hoda, British Columbia, Caroline, DC, Carol in Connecticut, the creator of our fabulous spreadsheet, Kat in Vermont, and again, everybody on the live stream, thanks for joining. Can't wait to see you all tomorrow.